Okay, this video is going to show how to create a Facebook ad and boost it. And a couple of things that I like to do when I'm creating a Facebook ad. I use my phone, kind of a combination of my phone and my laptop. So I will go into my auction. So this is the auction that I want to boost right now. It just went live a few days ago. Um, so some things are pretty low value. So I want to try and boost some of these items to drive traffic. And what I've found that works really well for me is to go into an item. So this is an item that I'm trying to boost. Um, it's a vintage U.S. Coast Guard saber. I will go in and enlarge the image, right click it, and save the image. And I create a folder in my organization for where I want that image saved by auction name. So I can go back and look at those images later if I need to. And then once I've saved those images, then I email them to myself on my phone because I have an app on my phone called Pick Collage. It's PICCOLLAGE. I really like that. It's free. It does have a watermark on it, but when I send the images there, it's just quick and easy. I can quickly make a collage. I haven't found one on my PC, on my desktop that I like. I'm on a desktop. I am not on a Mac, or I could probably download the app on my Mac. Um, I tend to kind of split work between both my MacBook and my laptop. I tend to do more on my laptop with CT Bids. I just feel like it's easier for me. But in any event, what I have done for this video, for the purposes of this video, is I have already created a pick collage. And so just wanted to give some context for if you were to follow this method on your own, you will want to create a collage prior to the steps that I'm about to show you. So this is the collage that I've created in the pick collage. Again, here is the watermark that it shows down here, the pick collage. That is the app. So I have already pulled some images. I right clicked them, saved them to my desktop, emailed them to myself, and then created this little pick collage. It takes about 2 minutes to do the entire process. So now I'm going to download that into my downloads folder so that I can use that for my ad. So I'm going back to Facebook here, and what I'm going to do is create an ad. I want to add a picture, and so I'll click on the picture. And I'll need to go to, so these are where I saved the downloads before in my cover images folder for that auction, but I need to go to my downloads because that's where the image is. And you can see where I just did one yesterday. So I have uploaded the picture, and it doesn't really show very well here, but the picture is there. And then here's where I'm going to put some text. And what I sometimes will do is, I'll say something like, our client really loved collecting Hummel figurines and, whatever it is, I'll put something about that client. One way that's quick and easy for doing this is to just go to the header of your auction. So in my auctions, I always put something in the provenance about the client, something about the items in the auction, kind of giving them an overview. So for this one, our client was a member of the U.S. Coast Guard and traveled extensively to Japan and kind of all over the world. So I think I'm going to use this for my header. So I'll say our latest auction features a variety of items um, from around the globe. And then I'll paste, our client was a member of the U.S. Coast Guard, and sometimes it has, and traveled extensively to Japan. Okay, and then I'll go to the end of it, and then I will do some hyperlinks. One thing I do try to do is I put the sale in there, and then I will do, it's not showing very well, a couple hashtags. So some hashtags that I really like are thrifting, and I like online auctions, Upcycle is a really good one that I like to use. If there's mid-century modern, that's a really good one too. I might put, let me see, Coast Guard, because I know that he was Coast Guard. And that's probably sufficient. I could do just auction as well. All right, so I've got a few hashtags just to kind of drive interest. And then I will click to boost it. I don't usually put a location or anything in here. I'm sure you probably could, but I just end up doing a picture and I'll boost it. So then I will say post, and it will take me to my ad section. So I am already logged in under my Facebook account. So, you'll have to have the password to log in to do this uh, on your end. But so going in here, you can do the goal, you can do automatic where Facebook sets the goal. I usually try to get more website visitors. And so because I want people to click a URL in my ad. So that's what I'm going to switch for. And then you can come down to your button. Now I really want it to say shop now. And I've had some issues the last couple of days with Facebook. So I'm really hoping that it will let me enter my link correctly because it's been kind of a pain in the butt. Yeah, it's not letting me do it. So I've had some issues with Facebook where when I come in to create the ad, usually there is a link where you can create a hyperlink to your auction, and it is not doing that. And it's really frustrating because I need to be able to send, when I pay for an ad, I need to be able to send them to the right link. So I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, I'm having some issues with Facebook, so I am going to not add a button. Usually, and I've switched it back to automatic here as a result of the problems that I'm having. Usually, I like to click on this get website visitors because what I'm trying to do when I create these ads for an auction is send people to the auction. And the problem that I'm having with Facebook right now is when I create the shop now button, usually you will see a link pop up here where you can enter the URL, and it's not doing that. There's something going on with Facebook right now that is not usual. And usually you can paste the link that you want it to go to, but it's not even going to shop now. It keeps defaulting to send message, which means there's something on the back end with Facebook sending a message to my linked business page. So it's sending automatically to Carrying Transitions, millcreek.com, which I don't want. I want to be able to say shop now and it will go to this auction. So if I were to boost this ad and pay to have this button here, it will take them to my main website and will cause serious confusion. I do not want to do that for my customers. I want them going to this link. And since I have this link in the original ad, I'm just going to say automatic, let Facebook determine instead of getting more website visitors. And I'm going to say no button because that's just going to solve my problem. And then if I come over here, you'll see that the link is there that I pasted in my note. And look, the button is gone. In a perfect world, when Facebook is not having issues on the back end, there will be a button here that says shop now and it will direct people automatically. So I'm just going to scrap that whole concept and just do it as it is with the link. So it'll still boost, it'll still get the results. It's just going to have a little different formatting, which is not what I wanted, but it serves the purpose. So then you come back to your audience, and you can do a couple of different things. You can do online auction. You could do the advantage audience, which is based on like your page details or people you choose through targeting. I am probably going to go with the online auction here. And so what I'm going to do is adjust the parameters for my audience. So in this one, it's just I've titled this one online auction, and I have the age parameters, set here. I don't find that we have a lot of people under the age of say 25, so I feel like that's pretty good. I want all genders. I don't want to target. If you're doing something specific that you want to target for a certain gender, you could certainly do that. I don't know that it's necessarily worth it, because you're making assumptions, I think, about people when you specify by gender. I think that there are a lot of great items in our auctions that are potentially applicable to both genders. Um, and so then coming down here to locations, I have a few zip codes. I don't know what this is. So, oh, it's latitudes and longitudes. That's really funny. So I'm just going to delete all of these because I don't think that's really value added. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to type in my service area. So Bothell, Washington is where I live. And then I'm going to do Linwood, Washington. I'm just kind of type in a few areas. Seattle area is, it's 20-minute drive. And Everett. Here we are. And Snohomish. And you can just kind of enter in whatever areas you are looking for. This current auction is actually in an unowned territory in Redmond, so I'm going to advertise there, and I might even add in Bellevue because it's the city right next to it. And I think that's pretty good. This covers my territory. I have, I'll add Mill Creek, or not Mill Creek, Motley Terrace. I own that one as well. There we go. And so just trying to get some customers. This is not obviously advertising for clients. So just trying to drive traffic to the sale. I could go more broad if I wanted to say like Washington State. We do have people that drive even from Idaho, but I'm trying to do it more hyperlocal for me. And then I'm going to come down here for interests. So this is the detailed targeting section. Some items in this, it's mostly, I can come back over here. So there's kind of a variety. There's a mink coat in here. There's a Japanese geisha doll. Lots of vintage clothing that our client wore when she was working. There's even a bedazzler, which is kind of fun. So I'm going to kind of think of what items are in the auction and customize my targets based on that. So there is no furniture in this one, so I'm going to take that out. That is spelled wrong. And so just give me a minute here and I will go ahead and pick a few things and remove things that don't necessarily make sense. Sometimes Facebook thinks that it has the algorithm correctly and it's totally off. There isn't really a fur coats. There's some women's clothing. I don't think there's any. Okay, so I'm gonna see what vintage clothing. There we go. Japan. Let's see. There's some tea. That doesn't come up. Doll. I think I may just go broad and just go Japanese, maybe Japanese culture. I could try with that and see what happens there. There are some things from Iwo Jima in here. And I think that's pretty good. Let's see. I also want to do online auctions or online shopping. Those are kind of the ones that I always do. It's online auctions, online shopping. Thrifting is a good one that I like to do. Again, that was in the hashtag. It doesn't come up here though. Upcycle sometimes. No. Okay. So that's where the hashtags are really important. Certain detailing targets are not available, but you can hashtag them and people will follow the hashtag. So you kind of want to do a combination of both. You want to have good hashtags that, and just search on Facebook for a hashtag that makes sense to you. But you know, you want to have a combination of hashtags and the detailed targeting to really see a return on your ads. You kind of want to have both. Um, and in some cases, I'll have like Audubon prints. So I think that one's why it's here. But I think this is good. And then it tells you kind of where your audience definition is. So it's not super specific. It's not super broad. It's kind of in the middle. And this is my estimated audience size of 1.7 to 2 million. Now that is how many people meet the criteria um, on my ad. That's going to change depending on the duration. And so we're going to save my audience metrics. So here's my audience details. And then you can see here, like with the current duration, which we'll go to next, it tells you your estimated results. So your people reached are going to be 850 to 2,500. The post engagement per day is 180 to 500 for the engagement. And then this is saying your total budget. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase that budget because $15 is not going to generate enough revenue for what I'm spending. I want to get a lot of people coming into my ad. So I typically, at a minimum, I do at least a $40 ad. And then I will raise the number of days to, um, depending on how many days I have left in the auction. This auction closes September 30th. So I only have 5 days. So I'm going to boost it for 5 days because it is now 8:55 in the morning. So my boosted ad will end on, the September 30th at around 9 in the morning, assuming it gets approved immediately, which it usually does. Sometimes keywords delay the start of your boosted post, but this should be just fine. And so then you can see where it changed the number of people reached and the post engagement. Now I can figure that out and say, well, you know what, it might make more sense to do 4 days because if you look at 5 days, there's 96 to 200. If I do 4 days, it's 120 to 300. Well, maybe I'll only do 4 days, but then I'll keep my budget the same. Generally, when you set your budget, it hits that budget. But it's just saying you have less time to hit this $40 threshold, so you're going to have a higher impact in less time. Basically, what that is saying. So I may just do this for 4, looking at these numbers, and I think that will be sufficient. There is a minimum recommended. You can go as high as you want on your budget, but I feel like $40 is a really good threshold. And the reason I do that is because I typically do multiple boosted ads per auction. So this is only 4 items, right? I might do another boosted ad where I specialize on something really unique. I've done some where it's just jewelry. I've done some where it's just sterling silver. I've done some where I focus on a niche, mid-century modern furniture, or whatever that is. This is a very broad ad because these 4 items are not really related, right? I'm trying. So I think about those things when I'm putting together an online auction. I think about what is going to drive an audience. Is there a theme that I can come up with that I can boost in my marketing? And that theme generally will impact the audience and the clicks, the number of clicks. That's really what you're paying for, is your number of clicks. And so this is going to be kind of a stab in the dark, but I've got to get some marketing going on this one, and I'm in a bit of a hurry. So good enough is what I'm going for today. So anyway, this is good, and you can then click on you have to have everything linked if you want it to go to Instagram. So you can also do this through Instagram instead of through Facebook, and it will vice versa. It will flip it to Facebook. So I always check those. Pixel, you can do this if you want to. You have to go in and add. You have to go in and click this Get Started and add the Facebook Pixel. And I don't think we have one for CT bids. And so to do that, it's just more work. So I have not done that yet. That's probably something I will do down the road, but I'll need to probably work with corporate in some way to get the developer stuff done. So for now, I always leave Pixel off. And then you want to make sure your payment method is correct. So for me, I have it going to my business PayPal. And that is it. Then we click Boost, and it will submit the ad for approval. The approval process can take 24 hours. It's generally pretty quick, and it's a little bit slow right now. But then once it goes through, it'll say, ta-da, your ad's being created. So again, it'll let you know within 24 hours, and it's in review. It will flip to, I think, approved. So if I go to my ad center, I can show you what that looks like. But my goal for this is to get more post engagement. And it's going to run for 4 days, a total of $40, and that's my payment method. So if I go to my ad center, it'll take me here, and you can see the impact. How do I get that away? You can see the impact of some of my past ads. So this one is in review. It's the one that we just created. This one is completed. I spent $14.99 of $15. I had 100 engagements and 749 people reached. This ad ran for less than 24 hours. So this is not bad. Not great either. I really don't like to spend that much to only get 100 engagements, but this one was kind of a running short on time. This one I paused because I was having some issues with. I may put that one live again. But if I go down to like see some of my past ads, the last few days I've noticed this issue with Facebook where it's not posting my link correctly. When I want it to say shop now, it's not sending it correctly. So I've had to stop ads. So this one I created and I had to pause it because once you add a button, you cannot remove it. And so I have to redo this entire ad. And in the time, the $1 I spent was when I realized that there was a problem. And I don't want to spend money sending people to the wrong thing. So I acted quickly and stopped that ad. That's why it's so low. But if you go down here, I spent $15 on this one earlier this month, and I had 2,800 reaches, 160 link clicks. So if you look at the reach to the amount spent, that one is much better than, like, say, this little piddly dink that I did up here. Not as good, but again, this only ran for 1 day. This one ran for several days. And then, I've got this one where I spent $50. So the more you spend, the greater your reach, right? It also is a matter of how many days you run your boosted ad for. The more days you do, the better. And so, but then you have to increase your spend, right? If you only do $15 for 5 days, you're not going to see a very good return. You might see something closer to this instead of this. And I kind of do these in conjunction with other marketing efforts. Like this one, I spent $80 because this was all West Elm furniture. I can go into this one and show a little more information here. So for this one, I had 856 link clicks. I had 94,000 in my reach, and it was 9 cents per click is kind of what my total marketing spend was over 8 days for $80 that I spent. That's fantastic. This one, this auction generated, I think, like $7,000 or $8,000, and there were only 50 lots in that auction. So it was pretty good for what it was. And so my cost per link click was really low, but then I think that it did help. I had some new buyers for sure. And then it'll tell you your demographics, the age range. Now, West Elm Furniture is definitely going to target this younger demographic, so I'm not surprised there. Most of it were on mobile devices, which also makes sense. People are constantly on their phones. And interestingly enough, Texas got a large impact. I have no idea why, because we are not in Texas. So I may want to think about and do some more analytics on why maybe in this one I did the audience, the entire United States. So I made a mistake in this one. I should have made it more hyperlocal. But I think in haste, which oftentimes in this business, we are rapidly trying to fire out marketing. I should have been more hyperlocal. But this ad that I just did today is hyperlocal. So I should see more targeted response. But so it's good to kind of see where these things are doing. This auction still did well, but I think I could have done better in this ad. So that's kind of what the creating a Facebook ad looks like. You can go, there's also your Meta ad center. I'm not going to go into that today, but I'm just going to hopefully get this ad up and running and start seeing some more revenue for that one. Thanks so much.